right, the Johari model, as you can see right here, has 4 different parts and 2 dimensions. And so as you saw in the opening, it's going to be divided into what other people know about you. As you can see in the diagram, other people know things about you, and then other people have aspects of you that are hidden from them. And so when you look at the different quadrants in the Johari model, it will fall into those 2 categories. And then also, up top, you have the things that are known by you. So known by yourself or not known by yourself, depending on which quadrant you find yourself in. And the important thing that you need to realize is that this entire Johari model, the entire box, is you. It includes everything that you don't know about yourself, but each box is not going to be equal. It's different sizes for different relationships based on what you share with those people. So some people were more comfortable sharing with than others, some people were not. So the first quadrant is known as the open quadrant. And this is the quadrant that is going to be what you show to the world. The next quadrant is the blind quadrant, and that's the things that we don't know about ourselves. And so the next one is going to be the hidden quadrant. Those are the things that we do know about ourselves, but that we keep hidden from other people. And then finally is the unknown quadrant, and that's the subconscious fears, thoughts, things that you don't know about yourself. So maybe you love shrimp, you just never have had shrimp, and so you don't know those. So altogether, these 4 quadrants are known as the Johari window or the Johari model, depending on wherever you're talking about. So the first one is the open quadrant, and it's called open because it involves a person's behavior, motivations, feelings, likes, dislikes, things like that. One example can be factual information about yourself. And so you might know that you're a loud person, and other people know that about you, obviously, because they have ears. It could also involve feelings, desires, and needs that you allow other people to know, and basically information that you allow other people to know about you. And like I said before, this can vary based on relationship. So one friend might know something about you that another friend doesn't. And so this is not static throughout your entire life. It will vary based from relationship to relationship, and that's okay. The next quadrant is the blind quadrant. And so you don't know this about yourself, but others do. So you might be a person who is frequently confused, but you're very confident that you don't make mistakes. And so something like that happened today, and whenever I made a mistake, whenever I was doing this assignment. And so in order to shrink that blind spot, which is what you want, because you want to know as much about yourself, that's the entire point of introspection and interpersonal communication, is to ask people so they can tell you what's wrong. Also, you can understand that this is going to be completely subjective. So what people think that they know about you is just what their own personal opinion, and it's not necessarily fact. All right, then we go back over to the hidden. So it's hidden. We don't know that you like Power Rangers unless you tell us. And so if you told us, it would shrink that hidden area, and your open area would enlarge. And so one of the things that we see is that we really want to open up the open area and make it as big as possible, because that means that you know the most about yourself, but also others do as well. Taking into consideration, though, you want to make sure that you do that with people that you trust, because you don't want to open up to people who are untrustworthy, because they'll take that information and they'll use it to hurt you. And so if you are going to allow people to have information about yourself, you need to make sure that you can trust that person. Some people don't have an open area. You can go on their Instagram, you can go on their social media, and it's just an explosion of information. You know what they eat, you know where they've been, you know everything about them. And so just realize that your hidden areas are not so hidden when you're sharing everything on social media. And then finally is the unknown quadrant. And so the unknown quadrant is going to be something about yourself that you don't know and that others don't know either. And so how you might react in a given situation. So up until 4 weeks ago, 31 days, You didn't know, and neither did anyone else, what kind of self-confidence you might have in the middle of a quarantine, in the middle of an isolation based on a pandemic. And yet now, you still might not be aware of how you're acting, but the people around you do. And so if you ask them, then that would shrink that unknown spot. And so that's what we're going to talk about. So in order to expand the open spots, there's a couple of different things that you can do. And it involves better communication with yourself, but also better communication with other people. So disclosure can be healthy. If you look at some of the big shrinks, the mental health people of the day, then they say that the more open you are, the better off you're going to be. But common sense dictates that you don't want to know everything about somebody, and they don't want to know everything about you. So we definitely want to make sure that we are not oversharing, that we're not doing things that's going to hurt ourselves. So if you want to expand that open spot out to the side and shrink your blind spot, then you can ask for help. You can ask for feedback from people in your surrounding area. But again, you have to realize, just like I said earlier, it's going to be based off their own personal opinion. And so you don't want to take what they say as gospel. You don't want to take it as complete facts and change who you are based on the information that they tell you. Because what people see and what people hear is going to be colored or influenced by their own bias, but also based on how they feel that day, if they've been fed, if they had good sleep the night before. And so you want to make sure that you're not just taking what people say as 100% fact. You can also disclose. You can tell other people about yourself in order to shrink that hidden area. And so it would no longer be hidden. It would still instead be in the open. And so you can accept your secret. So you can say, yes, I like Power Rangers. I like My Little Pony. And I'm not afraid to say it. And so what that does is it allows people to know something about you that you used to keep hidden, and then you can kind of open your horizons in regards to that aspect of your life. And so, again, you want to make sure that you are taking other people's advice and that you're careful about who you share your secrets to, because not everyone is going to accept you because you like the Power Rangers. Not everyone is going to accept that you're a brony and that you like My Little Ponies. And so you want to think of yourself first before you're worried about creating this open area. And then finally, you can expand into the unknown region. And so the unknown region is going to be based on other people's observation of how you react in certain situations, like I explained just a second ago. And so you can put yourself in a situation, and then you can ask other people to observe you. And based on that observation, you can try to find things about yourself. You can also go into different aspects of the world and experience it and see what you think about yourself. And then, of course, that would be divided into things that then you know about yourself, but then things that other people know. And so you'd have to separate that knowledge out and figure out what's best for you. Okay? Ultimately, though, the entire point of the Johari model is for you to look at how you communicate with other people and look at what you communicate with other people. And we want to be our authentic self. And so, as you can see in the diagrams, that that's not always the case. Some people have a bigger open area. Those people are going to be a little bit more comfortable. Some people have a huge blind area because they think that they're a certain way when in reality that they're not. Some people are completely hidden, so we know very, very little bit about them. They are a closed book. And then some people just have experienced so little of life that the majority of the Johari window is unknown. And so as you grow up, as you have new experiences, as you do different things, read different books, watch movies, travel, get a job, then that unknown area will start to shrink, and others will know things about you, and you'll know things about yourself. And so you're supposed to take all this knowledge, you're supposed to self-reflect on it, and then you're supposed to try to make the best self possible out of all of that information. And that was the Johari model. Thank you for listening, and have a wonderful day.